to another episode of Raving and Reviewing. My name is R, and this is my co-host V.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Today we are reviewing a new Marvel, no,
Not You're so used to saying that.
not Marvel, new Netflix series.
Netflix. We've
Yes,
switched
that's the
from
first.
Disney Plus to a new streaming service.
Netflix, I don't know if they own this or they sponsor this, but it's a Korean show called
Yeah,
The Squid
we've
Game.
switched streaming platforms and we've switched languages.
Yeah, so I think this is fully developed and production-wise, it's like made in Korea, but I think Netflix probably just like bought it out or something, or probably paid for the promotion, like distribution, probably.
Yeah, I think it premiered in Korea first, probably, like did it their format. I don't know if they have like online platforms that they release it on. They do. They have a couple. But then Netflix typically comes in and buys the show and then premieres it on their, like, just distributes all of it at once on their platform.
Yeah, so I mean, this is number one right now. It came out September 17th. We started watching a few days ago. And
Yeah,
it's been number one for a while, like since it came
a
out.
week at least, right?
Yeah.
Or since it came out, yeah. It's like over 10 days.
Yeah, and it's originally natively in Korean, but there's dubbed English and there's subtitles. And I think there's
No,
more
this
than
is
English. There's many languages.
there was everything. There was like French, English, Chinese, Spanish. There was a bunch of options, but I think it was interesting because you watched it in the English dub and I watched the original Korean.
Yeah.
How was the dubbing?
I mean, I haven't really watched anything dubbed like this in a long time, but I think it's done well.
It's done well, yeah. The only thing I've ever watched dubbed is anime, and sometimes I can tell, but that's a little bit easier than people actually speaking.
Yeah, I mean, the only time dubbed anime is like when there is some anime that sync the Japanese voice to the mouth, and the English one isn't. So like, you notice it, and there's like some delays. Here, like, there's clearly a delay in like what they're saying and what's happening, but it's good enough. It's close enough. I think all the voice actors that are portraying the characters have done well. I think the only issue is the subtitles are different.
So bad.
So whoever did the subtitles, they're saying the same thing, but like the lines are almost different. Pretty like, maybe not 100% of the time, but like 50% of the time, like the lines are different.
So wait, are they speaking different words and the subtitles are different?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. Because for me, like, I can understand like maybe like 60% of Korean. To me, like, there were certain things they were saying I couldn't. Okay, 60 might be a bit of a stretch, maybe 40%. So certain things they were saying, I knew some of the words, and that was not what was translating down in the English subtitles. And I'm like, okay, this is not what they're saying.
Like whoever did the English subtitles is like some outsourced company, probably, because that's usually who does it. And I think it's fine. I think it's a very simplified way of writing. I think the dialogue way is way more like written better. I think like it was the most simplified way of like getting stuff done.
Maybe it's like a AI or something that translated.
Oh, it could be they use like Google Translate.
Something like it wasn't quite so bad though.
No, I think it's completely comprehensible if like you're just going along that. Like the funny, like one of the things that was translated awkwardly was like there's like these two characters. One, like, she's like flirting with the guy and she's like calling him babe, and then she's also calling him old man, and then she would say like old man, but then like the subtitle would say babe. And I was like, what is she call? Is she like insulting him, or is that like a term of endearment? Like,
so
when she's saying it, but it switches because later on in the episode, he's like, stop calling me old man and babe. Like, he's like, don't call me either. And it's like, I wasn't sure when she was calling. Like,
which one
was she saying?
Term that you probably didn't hear because I watched in Korean, she was saying oppa a lot to him, and oppa kind of means brother in Korean, but it also could mean like, this is my oppa, this is like the guy I'm like with.
That's your daddy.
It's kind of like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
a little bit. But I guess more obsessed with brothers well, American fetishizes daddies. So whatever. I don't want to get into that. But I think that's probably what like they couldn't figure out how to translate, because sometimes maybe she's using it as like she's giving him like honor, but sometimes she's like trying to like flirt with him. So the way she's using it changes how
Okay.
she was referring to him. At least that's what I think. I don't remember her ever saying, because I didn't watch it the same as you did. I don't remember him ever saying stop calling me babe and stop calling me old man. So
No,
I don't
there's
remember
like
that.
when he said whoever the voice actor in English says like the line,
Yeah.
"Stop calling me old man and babe." Like he says both.
Yeah, see, I don't know what you're even referring to, because I feel like we watched totally different shows because we watched it in different. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I mean the language thing is crazy, and I think it's like something like this is number one is because it's
Mhm.
appealing to like the English audience and like
Yeah,
the whatever the Asian side, like
yeah,
Korea, Japan, Taiwan, whoever, like
yeah.
Singapore, like all those countries are watching it probably in their language or
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Korean or Chinese or Japanese.
Mm-hmm.
I mean Europe too. I mean who knows? I mean I'm sure they are
Sure,
too.
everybody's watching this. It was a big deal when it came out. It still is apparently, right? It's still number
Yeah,
one.
it's still number one, I think.
Yeah. All right. So
Um,
we talked a little bit about the different way we viewed it, which was interesting.
yeah,
I think one thing you might have missed out on, because I kind of switched when like uh what was his name? Ahmed Abdul. What
I
was
don't know.
the Pakistani guy's name in there?
Okay, no, there's
Yeah.
one
So
Pakistani guy in this.
yeah, he actually in the Korean version, he has a light accent, but I wouldn't say Abdul. I wouldn't say he had like a Indian or Pakistani accent. It was just someone who didn't know Korean as fluently as other Korean people.
Hmm.
But in the American version, which it makes sense, right? They wanted to portray someone with an accent. He has like a thick Pakistani accent,
Yeah, he does. Yeah,
very
I mean
thick.
it's very clear. Like
Yeah,
people that are like Asian, like you can kind of tell like there's some like it's a foreign person, like that's their second language speaking English. There's like
yeah,
an older gentleman that's like you can tell he's an older gentleman, like speaking with like an accent, like
hmm,
English. He's not just speaking normal English, American
yeah,
English.
yeah,
Um, I think it's pretty well done. I mean, I have no complaints about that. I mean, I think it's funny seeing the differences, and I'm sure that
yeah. No,
you're
I mean you
translating
gotta
into
try
like
your
10 languages.
best.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you try your best. So, it's cool because you make all these different shows accessible, all different stories from different countries accessible to everybody. So yeah, it's not going to be 100% perfect, but whatever it is, it's a comprehensible story that obviously everybody's enjoying because it's number one.
Yeah. I mean, the story, we haven't even talked about what the story
Oh yeah,
is.
we were just so let's get into that.
So I guess we're gonna do no spoilers first.
Yes.
Um, just do an overview of the story. The story is about, I guess, greed, what people will do for money.
Yeah, I think it's about like impulse control as well. Like I think the beginning half is the guy has no impulse control, and they kind of pick out those people as like perfect candidate for this
Mhm.
game with game. So I guess
Yeah,
that's
so like the name of the show is the Squid Game, which is like I guess this Korean children's game
mhm.
where there's like some shapes on the ground and one team is on offense and defense. The show starts with like the kids playing this and someone narrating how
Yeah,
the game
yeah,
is played, and it's like, what's going on here? You're confused, like what it's like black and
hmm,
white. Why are they explaining this? What's the show gonna do? I didn't know anything before I watched this show. Went in blind.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Same. I didn't watch a trailer or nothing. I did not have a clue what this was about.
then you like get to later where like the main character Ji Young. I don't know.
Hmm.
Pronouncing names is gonna be terrible
Young,
for this.
yeah, yeah. The main character, yeah.
You can even just call him number 456.
4, 5, 5, 6, yeah.
Yeah. Um, this guy, he's just a mess. Like he's got a kid that's He's not like
Gambling
he's not
problem,
gambling problem. He's not like
sick
he's
mother.
separated from his wife. His
Hmm.
sick mother. He has like a best friend that's missing, and then
Yeah,
his mom is worried. Like this first episode just shows you this guy's life is a mess,
yeah,
and
he's
it's just
got nothing going on for him, and he makes lots of poor choices. Like even though
yeah.
he tries to make good like decisions, he
Hmm.
just no
Yeah,
impulse control.
yeah. I mean, impulse control for sure. Like he is a guy who is known to make bad decisions, and somebody is watching that.
Yeah,
So there's, I guess, some kind of group. Is there a name for this group? Are the
I don't
people
think
the
so.
game?
No, I guess it's just the people who created these games. They're like they have like a record of all these people that are eligible
Hmm.
to participate in this game, right? So it's kind of like what Google does with people now, right? They have all your data and they know what to advertise to you. So
Exactly. Yeah.
this group of people, they have all the information about various different types of people, and they are using this to target them into coming into playing the Squid Game, which
Yeah.
is
So
they don't
this
really
all.
call it that throughout the whole show. They don't call it the Squid Game until like the last few episodes, but
Yeah. Like I think it's like I guess like you're being awarded to go on a game show, and this
mm-hmm.
guy is given the chance of I could win some money to pay off my debt, to help my mom,
Mm-hmm.
to help my daughter, help. I mean, he was involved with some gang stuff. He owes a lot of money to. Um, I mean, he's getting beat up by a gang. Like people are after him. They want some money,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he's got a lot of bad
Mhm.
problems. So,
Loan sharks.
so,
Yep.
so, so I guess like America from something. It's like, oh, if you join this game, we'll give you money. If you
Mm-hmm.
participate. And
Mm-hmm.
he's like, what are we playing? And they're like, he's like, you'll find out.
Yeah, they tell him nothing, right? So the guy is basically they talk. They give
It's
him nothing.
mysterious. The show is
Yeah,
very mysterious.
everything is revealed very slowly, which is really good. But they give him nothing but a card, and he obviously because he has no other option, right? Like he actually follows through and goes and plays, becomes a participant, the last participant in
Mhm.
the game. So there's what 456 people that they gathered for this particular I guess session of the game, and he was the last person they recruited. Um, so that's kind of basically like the beginning premise and like the first episode really up until a certain point because I don't know if we're doing spoilers just yet.
Yeah, I mean, the first episode was just set up of this guy's
Yeah,
life sucks. And then
yeah,
this is one way he can get out of this. And then they play the first game. And
yeah,
I'm not gonna, I'll save that for later, but they're
yeah,
playing children's games.
yeah.
It's the Squid Game is something that was like kids. This guy, he's like in his 40s, late
They
30s.
played as kids.
He's like, I remember playing this as a kid. And one of the first things was they were playing like this game where they're throwing an envelope on the ground. Um,
Yeah, what's it called?
that
Uh, Dakji, yeah.
Yeah, and I guess in English it's called the
Flip it.
milk cap game, or like you play with pogs
Yeah,
as a kid.
yeah.
I didn't know that you used to do that with pogs. We just collected them as kids.
Yeah. I've never played anything like it. So that one was kind of lost on me, but from what it looked like, they were just trying to hit it and flip it.
Yeah, it's like you have these two little folded
Yeah.
origami papers into squares, and then you have to
Yeah.
make
And
the other
then
person's flip over.
there was a big cameo in that. Um, I don't know if people would actually know. See, that's the other thing that gets lost on people watching it. Is like you won't know this all the big famous Korean actors that actually did all these like little minor roles in this show. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I had no idea, but I kind of got that the guy who's inviting him to this game was a cameo.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher. I'm really bad with like Korean names, so I don't want to
Mhm.
butcher his name. But he was like in a bunch of dramas. But he's really like known for this big movie called Train to Busan that actually kind of put Korean movies on the map because everybody watched it. Um, so he's a big deal. Yeah, that guy.
Gong Yo.
Gong Yoo.
Gong Yo.
Ruin it, but
Yeah, we're doing, and he's barely in it, but he's good. And
Yeah, he's really not in it much, but they I guess they put all these big name actors to kind of
mhm.
cultivate a fan base because that's Korean dramas do that really well.
Yeah, but I think that like I don't know any of these characters, and I think all of them portray the characters really well, like
So well,
by
so
their
well.
emotions of their face, acting,
Mm-hmm.
um, and then the
So you're
show
telling
builds
me you like
tension.
Korean acting? That's what I'm hearing.
If it's anything like this, I'm down. I'm 100% down. This is like the most interested I've been in a show since Tiger King,
Yeah, agreed, agreed. It was
and it's
good.
like there hasn't. I mean, Karate Kid is maybe a close second. Like when I first saw Cobra Kai
Cobra
season
Kai.
one,
Yeah.
I was
Season
addicted.
one was so good. Season one was so good.
I think that and Tiger King are the two only other things that like
No,
I
we've
need to
watched and we've
watch
really
this
gotten
right
into.
away.
Yeah, yeah. Bin-
Um, yeah, this is the first show I've binged in a while. Um,
yeah.
definitely, I think it's worth watching. I don't think there's anything else really right now that's like you're invested in the episode, and they're not like it's you're continuously watching,
Hmm.
and the episodes end, and you're like always like, I don't want to stop.
No, I think I one day I just sat and watched like three in a row, and they're long. Like
Yeah,
some of
they're
them
full
over
hour
an
episodes.
hour, I
Yeah,
think, right?
they don't feel it. You don't
They
notice the
don't
hour
feel
go.
like it at all up until a certain point, which I will get into later because I think we
Yeah,
both
so
have a similar opinion on this, but I don't know.
yes, I mean we don't go into spoilers, but I think the
No.
ending was weak. I think
Yeah,
from all there's 9 episodes. I
yeah.
think up until the end of 8, I think like they can't get this wrong. They cannot do like the episode like episode 6 was just insane. I'm like, how can they do this to
Episode
us?
six was my favorite. I
Yeah.
was I went through all of the emotions that a human being has in episode six. I
Yeah.
was like, oh my God, he's so nice. Oh my God, this is so messed up. Oh my God, this is so messed up. Oh my God, this is so sad. Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Up until like the very end. And it got me. Like I was tearing up at the end of episode six. I that part got me. It
Hmm.
was so good. And then it was not. After episode six, at
I think
seven,
seven was still good.
I thought it was eh. Eight, I thought was eh. Nine was
I think
horrible.
8 and 9 is when it gets to eh.
Yeah, I seven.
Um,
When was the one when they were doing the bridge game?
I think that was the end of 5.
No, no, no. It was not.
You talking about?
The one
We'll
when
save it. We'll save it.
yeah. We'll save it for later.
That was what's it called? The it started and then they ended episode and then continued the
Yeah.
bridge. So
Yeah. Okay. So
it
it's maybe
wasn't you had to keep
confusing.
watching. And I did pause it, started the next episode, finished the game, then paused. Like it was like 5 minutes in.
Yeah, I have to look because I can't remember the numbers anymore, but I know that episode I
So
was
a lot
getting.
of stuff is like it's mysterious because everyone's names that are 400 people invited to this game, and they're referred to as numbers, not names.
Yeah. Nobody
And
knows their names.
they're all wearing green, and
Mhm.
the people in charge are all wearing red. Um, and they're all wearing masks, the people that are controlling the game. And there's a circle, square, triangle, and that's like positions they have on this team are in charge in this game that's being held.
Mhm.
Circle, square, triangle. I don't know the order of who's more.
I think the square was the highest. The circle was the lowest. So I'm guessing the triangle was somewhere in the middle.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think that really mattered because most of
Yeah,
them
it
are.
just
I think
mattered a little
they're
bit.
anonymous
Just
for the most part.
yes. Yeah. Is there any main thing that we missed other than yeah, they're playing child games? They're also it's only 6 days long. And they all live together in this one little like it looks almost like a warehouse.
Hmm.
All these 456 players are living together in like
Yeah,
bunk beds. They don't have any privacy. They're kind of being watched. And in the end, if they win the game, they win a whole shit ton of money, like a
yeah,
whole shit ton. And that money is kind of like you could see it. Like these players are always looking at the money when they're sleeping or eating or anything like that. So
yeah. There's like a giant, like big pile of
piggy
money in
bank,
a giant
yeah,
clear piggy bank with
yeah,
millions of dollars.
yeah. So are
Um,
we doing spoilers?
yeah, we can do spoilers. I was gonna say,
Yeah.
It's like a Mr. Beast video, even
Oh,
brought up to like level 10.
he's the I guess
It's
so.
what it is. It's what
No.
it is.
When they're doing all the weird, like who can stay in the milk the longest challenges that
Yeah,
they
exactly. Yeah.
okay, I can see that.
I
Um,
mean, if Mr. Beast watches this, I think we're gonna get some interesting videos after that.
he's gonna have some interesting ideas. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I can see that happening. Okay, so I guess we could go into spoilers, and I don't think anybody was kind of shocked as you're watching because I know I wasn't. So these games, if you lose, there's three rules, right? Like you, a player can't forfeit in the middle of the game, right?
Mhm.
Something like a player can't leave in the middle of the game. But they can stop the game if a majority of the people say they don't want to play. So
Yeah.
they'll end the whole game, like all the whole 6 days. They could go home if they say, "Hey, listen, we don't want to do this anymore." If majority of people say that they don't want
Yeah.
to do this anymore. There's one more rule, but I can't remember. I don't think it was that important.
No, I don't remember the other one.
Yeah, I can't remember it. So anyway, when they say if a player is eliminated from the game, like anybody can guess, they're gonna start killing people.
Yeah.
Which is kind of that was the end of the first game, which they called red light, green light, and it said something else in Korean. I'm not even gonna try to attempt to say it, but
Mhm.
it's basically just red light, green light. Someone, they had like this anatomic doll, and whoever got caught moving was just killed. Like she just started shooting people. Like there was machine guns all around. And I think the other thing that was really strong in the show is like the set was really cool and really
Mhm.
creepy. And like I was always intrigued to see the new set in all the new games that they went
Yeah.
through.
Yeah.
So I really liked that. The set was awesome.
Yeah,
And
I think production-wise, yeah, this environment they're in. I mean, a lot of it
so
was
cool.
like they're just in a production, like they're just in a filming
It
studio.
looks like a set, but it
Like
just
it's
works.
yeah, I mean
It's
they're in a warehouse and they're
yeah,
trying to survive.
yes, yeah. So I think that most of these games kind of go the same way. So I think the first game was red light, green light. What was the
Mhm.
second one? What did they do? They
Was
did
the carving, the licking the honey.
yeah, the licking and the carving
I
and
was like, I want to play that game.
to carve out like the honeycomb.
Yeah, who can do it faster?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
would
we
be
do the same shape, but I would want to see who can do
yeah,
it
you're not
faster.
gonna kill me if I don't do it well, right? Don't shoot me, please.
You can't use the licking technique.
Oh no, that's oh, hell is when they're killing everybody, right? So the second episode is they're like set
No,
up.
they're killing everyone in episode 4, actually.
So what's the second game?
The second game is the honey game. The
But
first episode,
that's a
first
third
game.
episode.
So episode 2, there was no game. It's when they let them
Oh,
go home. The episode ends with like everyone dying, and then episode 2 starts with they're all go back into the room. They're like, oh, like 200 people died,
oh,
and then
right,
they
right,
have
right,
like
right,
the
right. You're
vote
right. They
or
all go home.
something
Yeah,
like let's go home, and
that's
then
right.
they get
About that.
the like that is a crazy thing of like they said no, but everyone
Mhm.
came back.
Most people came back. It was
Almost
like
people came back.
93%. Yeah,
It's like
93%.
you see, there's like you could die,
Yeah. Well,
but
that's the AI working, right? They have picked the people that
mhm.
they are most likely to do because their
I
life
think
out
episode 2,
crap.
like I think as we went, I was like, oh, episode 1's good. Episode 2 was my favorite because it
So
came
good.
to show you like they're all like,
It's
oh, we
good
want to
times.
leave this and that, and then they pull down a little screen, and then it was like this. They go through like the people, and they're like, this person, number 37, has this much money in debt. This
Mm-hmm.
person has this much in debt.
Mm-hmm.
This person
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
in trouble with this thing and doing
Mm-hmm.
that. And it's like, and it gets to like his
Yeah.
friend who's also in this thing. And you're like, it shows
That
his
guy.
name. And he's like, oh, you own like 10 million won. And then
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you owe 49 billion won or something, whatever the
Yeah,
numbers,
yeah.
the numbers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I Googled like so many times, like how much won is to a dollar?
I think it's like 1,000 to one or something
Yeah,
weird.
something like that.
Yeah, but I just like how the second episode is also called Hell, and they did a really good job portraying like their life outside is not the best as well.
Hmm.
And I think the one thing this show did really well is picking because there's 456 people. Obviously, you're not going to care about all of them,
No.
but they picked like really like they focused on certain episodes on all the right people, right? So there's the episode when they really focused on the curly haired lady, right? Like I kind of liked her.
By the
I think
end, yeah.
the interesting character. Because she's begging because she didn't get a chance to name her child. That was obviously all BS, and she was, she just didn't care. And then when she found out how much money she was going to make, she's like, no, no, I'm staying.
Oh no, I was thinking of someone related. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people in there.
Yeah.
But they, and then there was like that couple in the show as well, right? Like
Excellent.
find out
Oh
that,
my
hey, if
God.
you take me, you got to take my wife as well.
Yeah.
You literally know 3 storylines with that couple and maybe a minute screen time each.
Mm-hmm.
Know exactly which couple I'm talking about. We don't know their names. I don't even think I remember their number.
69 and 70.
No. Yeah. Oh, you remember the number. I did
No, I
not.
saw it earlier.
Okay, I
No,
remember the guy's number because the old man made a joke about it.
okay.
And they go, 69 is my favorite number. It's like, what are you, Kevin? Shut up.
No, so that thing with the couple was so
Messed up.
it's evil. Like
It's evil.
It's like these guys, I guess the game runners, show runners are like, all right, we're gonna have this couple because they need the money. And there's gonna be only one winner. We're not gonna tell them that it's gonna come out so they have to kill the other person or they will have to die.
Mhm.
And that's already like, yeah, you'll be a millionaire, but you have to kill your wife or husband. Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
then
messed
it
up.
like gets to like the first game, okay, whatever. Like they survived the running. Second game, they had to
Mhm.
carve little honey thing. They did that, whatever.
Mhm.
The next one
Mhm.
is like they find out that they need someone with strength. This game is a
My
game of
favorite.
strength. So they're like,
Yeah.
we don't want women on your team.
Yeah.
So everyone's like trying to find like the big strong men to be on one team, and then like the
Yeah.
bad guy or like the asshole guy,
The
kind of
best,
builds.
not the best friend, but the friend who kind of is slowly turning evil throughout the show. Like you can tell he has good in him, but he's so desperate and he's in such a bad position. He's getting sued. He's not done the best outside of his life. He used to be really smart, but he just took all the wrong turns and got very greedy outside of the game already.
Yeah, like the main guy always talks to him as like he's the star guy, like
so
he's
smart,
the pure one.
Like
he's the one who did it all right.
Like
I wish I could have beat him. And then he finds out that like he's way off, way worse than he ever would be. And it's like growing up as kids, like we were equal, and like I thought he was the good one, but it turns out like he is.
He isn't, yeah. But I like the tug of war episode a lot too, because not only, like you said, right, they didn't want women, but obviously like the old man throughout the whole, like the main character. So there's this really, I'm not gonna say anything more other than I think the old guy throughout the whole show kind of was like a baggage to the main character 456. But I think he was also a tool to show like 456, he just has no impulse control. He doesn't make the best decisions, but at the end of the day, he just wants to do what's right by the people that are in his circle, whether it be his best friend, whether it be like his team, and whether it be like this old guy that he's kind of adopted as his grandfather.
Yeah, I mean, like the first episode goes, he meets this old guy and he's like, what are you doing here? You're like, you should be relaxing at home. You don't need to be here. Like, you should be like having your kids make food for you and like hanging out with them. And he's like, who says I have
making
all that?
Food for someone? Yeah, he's like, are you making, or is someone else doing that for you? Are you doing that for your mother?
Yeah,
that's what he tells.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, he's like, oh, I'm not doing anything for anybody. He doesn't say it, but he's thinking in his head like, yeah, I don't even help out my own daughter.
Yeah.
But he's like, oh, I have a tumor in my brain, and so I got nothing else to do. And he's like, fuck, you feel bad for this guy. You start off episode 1, you're like, you feel bad for this guy.
Yeah,
then
he pees
when
himself at one point.
Yeah, that was the before the ending. Like that was the other thing I didn't like, where they just kind of like did a mass murder thing where they're like, at nighttime you can kill everyone.
I was okay with that.
I get the purge thing, whatever. Like I didn't love it because it's like they could have built more storylines out, but I get it. They want you to hate this guy.
Also, you need, there was too many people
I mean,
because
you could have just killed more
how many
people off
people
in tug of war or the first one.
yeah, I know, but tug of war was what, 7 people per team? How much was it?
Eight
And
or 10. Maybe it
yeah,
was
something
10.
like that. Yeah, so like that's not that many people. There was like 100 plus players though. I did like, and at the end of the day, like when you're in a world like this, like I would think, like if you see someone die and money fall over, you think, okay, I have this option to just kill people. So it made sense to me. I
Yeah, it made
mean,
sense.
I think they also like one of the story was good up until a certain point, but also the other thing is they wanted to make sure like the action was also like live and going. So
That's the tug of war episode. That I mean,
yeah,
the pulling
so
it
good.
like the tension that is like you're seeing a team filled with half 3 women and an old
Mhm.
man,
Yeah,
and then kind of it just like
comes together.
comes together. And the old man is like a pro tug of war guy, and he knows the
Yeah,
thing, and he's telling the story of how to win.
yeah. He's like,
And
it's
it's
about
like,
strategy, not about strength. He's like, we have to make the
yeah,
other team like think that they have the benefit of the doubt. And that was his strategy. He's like, okay, everybody kind of like switch off one
hmm
on one side, one on the other. I think that was a good
yeah, the
idea.
formation.
Yeah, I also like that they were like just 10 seconds, just you gotta like hold out for 10 seconds. After that, they're gonna get tired, and that's when you get them.
Yeah,
And
no, that was really well done. The music was great.
so
Like,
good. And you know what I thought? I'm like, they're gonna make it seem like, just because they're weak, just like, and you can really screw that up by
hmm
making it
no,
almost like these people are Superman or Superwomen.
hmm
But I like the fact that their focus was it doesn't matter how weak we are, we have to use whatever strength they have against themselves.
yeah.
So I thought that was done so well. I was so impressed.
And
I
then
was
like,
edge of my seat.
I think the other thing was when they knock the people down, they're falling down to like a giant pit. And then
Yeah.
the rope is still like, once they're all fallen, like the rope is pulling them down too.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
yeah.
the tension of do they let go? Because they're chained to the rope. And it's
Yeah.
like, then you see the little like guillotine like cut the rope. And
Cut, yeah.
I was like, that's all so smartly done.
Yeah. I mean, I knew they weren't gonna really die.
No, they wouldn't have. Those
It
main
was
team, I didn't think was going to die. I
yeah,
mean,
but it was crazy that they let him hang for like 2 seconds. He was literally in the air for 2 seconds when
mhm.
they stepped forward.
Yeah, yeah. He was falling.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh crap. That was done well. That was done really well. In the episode 6 we talked about that was so messed up. And then we get to
I mean,
episode
I want to talk about it, man.
okay.
It's devious. Like, it's like pick
It
partners
is.
because you think this is going to be a team sport.
Yeah.
Then it comes
They
out.
don't tell you what it is.
You can play whatever game you want with marbles, but
Yeah.
you have to have more marbles than the person you're with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's like the same thing. The old man and what, or the husband and wife.
Yeah.
Only one can
Man one.
survive.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
Like, how
messed
heartbreaking
up.
is that?
That
And then
was
there was many
messed
many
up.
stories, like not just him. It was the Pakistani guy and then the friend,
Yeah, and a little
and
bit
he
of context, those
betrays
two.
him so fucking bad.
Yeah. So that was the thing with the friend, right? So 456 has a best friend that we talked about a little bit earlier who, was doing everything right and then messes up his life. He actually kind of becomes like a sambe almost like a president. I don't know if he was calling him that in like the English version,
English?
but
No,
he kept
I don't
calling
think
him
so.
sir. He kept
Yeah,
calling
sir.
him sir, right? So basically, like the best friend is making sure that this Pakistani guy is like, if he's when they were out in the real world, if he needed money to get the bus, he was making sure he was providing that. He was really he took him under his wing.
Yeah,
And in the end, for him to do it the way he did it is so messed up, right? He basically just makes a fool out of this guy because he didn't understand anything.
yeah,
And he got him running around everywhere. He gives him a bag of rocks instead of the marbles and then gets him killed, basically.
yeah. No, that was terrible.
So messed up.
And it's like
After that, I
like
hated him.
that the guy, like over time, like he kind of just like sir, and then like he's like, you
Yeah.
don't have to call me sir, just call me this. And then it gets
Yeah.
to like him talking about his family, and he's like, I got a
Mhm.
son or daughter or something and a wife,
Yeah.
and and we're here as foreigners working.
Yeah.
Like, this is all I got. I need money. And then like
Right.
this other guy just owes money somewhere, and it's like I
Right.
feel bad for this other guy because now his
Yeah.
wife and kid is alone.
Right. So messed up. So messed up. He was my
And
even though in the end there was like a little scene of redemption, I still hate him. I don't. I think even his last act was like a selfish one because I don't think he did it for
no,
any.
no, I mean, there's still want to go straight to the end. I do want to talk about the next game a bit
Yeah,
with the
you can talk
glass
about that.
walking.
Yeah.
This one was like, this reminds me of Fall Guys, that game with little beans and you got to be the last one to survive, the
Okay.
battle royale.
But that wasn't even like a childhood game. Like who would play a game like that? That kind of they
I think
started
that's like a,
losing me after that.
I think this one was kind of like you can only don't step on lava kind of
I
thing.
guess
But
so.
like
Yeah.
that's like as a game, that's just like you just don't touch the floor. You just go jump from furniture to chair or
Yeah,
something.
I
But
guess so. Honestly, I did not like this episode much.
no, I thought it had great tension and
I kind
like
of saw what was going to happen.
I think there was another side of the other side, which we didn't even talk about. So there's this one undercover cop
Yeah, let's talk about that.
that
The
he,
weakest
I
part of the
guess,
story.
no, I liked it. The ending just sucked.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But all that build up and they did nothing with it. Nothing with it. Literally
Yeah.
did nothing with him. It was
So
so,
like seeing the cop, I was super interested. I was like, all right, we're gonna get
yeah,
somewhere. He's researching, he's doing
yeah,
something,
yeah.
and he's sly. He's figuring out what to do. He got on the inside. He's pretending to be one of the
Yeah. So
workers.
basically he like the mask people that you see in the poster, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. He actually ends up getting a mask. He kills somebody in the beginning of the show. He gets on wherever they are and he pretends to be a worker
Yeah.
and kind of figures out the plan of what's happening.
Mhm.
And he's really good. He never really interacts as one missed opportunity too. He never really interacts with any of the player. So they kind
Except
of
the main guy.
he says something to him once.
He said he asked him the name of his brother,
Yeah, of
and
his
he's
brother.
like, I don't know,
That's it.
Shaw. He's like, we don't use
Yeah.
names here.
We don't use names. That was the only interaction he really had with him.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of a missed opportunity. I wish they interacted more, but that's okay. He had his own little storyline, so I guess it makes sense.
And I mean,
Um,
there was like like he had good things that were got me interested of like him sneaking around and he like it's like I need to be one level higher up, so he finds the
yeah,
mask of the other guy that's
that was
killed,
good too. I think his
and
story
then like
was so good, and they did nothing with it.
like I like there's like a group of people selling the organs of the dead,
Yeah, yeah.
and that didn't go anywhere, but like
No.
he was like, what are they doing with these people? Like he's like
Yeah.
somebody's a zombie, and I thought that was kind of dumb, like the zombie thing. I don't know
Yeah,
what they
yeah.
if that translated correctly, maybe.
No, it was
Um,
zombie. They were saying zombie in Korean too.
um, then he's like cracking down on that. He lets other people die, but that gives him away. And like the head guy, he's wearing like a black mask.
Hmm.
Um, kind of disappointed in him.
Yeah. The sad thing is, again, the actor he is a huge actor. He was in the GI Joe series in America, actually.
Oh, the new one that just came out.
No, in the old one, like I think the
Oh,
Channing
okay.
one, but he's pretty big in Korea. He's literally in this for 2 episodes, unless he was like.
I think this is just gonna be a season to resolve that to fix it. This is not in no way
Yeah.
ending.
Yeah, I was hoping like he would come back, like the cop. I was hoping there'd be more to it, but they literally ended it. So I
They
looked.
killed him. They killed him.
Yeah, I looked it up. There is not going to be a season 2.
Oh no, there's not.
At least the guy who wrote all the episodes says he doesn't want to come back. So he's like, if they want to commission a season 2, I'm not writing it. My
Oh,
staff
it's
write
like Watchmen.
it,
Oh
will write
man,
it. Yeah. So that's what he said. He's
if
like,
Watchmen ended up good.
yep. He's like, I have no desire to write it. Now I don't know if that's something he said or it was just an article that came out and they I don't know. But that's what I read somewhere.
Yeah, it's like we're getting to the
write a second
messy
season.
ending
Yeah.
where like we find out there's a bunch of rich guys that are like paying funding all this like craziness and they bet on who's gonna win. They learn
Mhm.
they're gambling, they're having fun like rich people do.
Yeah, they basically so they call like these poor people that are in the game horses because 456 outside of this world, he's a big gambler and he gambles on horses. So that was one of the things that they used. He's like, to us, you guys are the horses. Just so fucked up. So fucked up.
Yeah, so they're gambling on this thing, and then that cop guy gets one alone. He learns all the information, he records it,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then he kind of like escapes away. But then like the main guy hunts him down, and then they
Yeah.
find out like that's his brother. That's in the
Mm-hmm.
main show run.
Which is kind of also obvious up until like I think after episode, where is it where he's hiding in like the panel and he's looking for him and he goes, oh, I put the phone the other way and I found out that you were
I
here.
think that was the episode 8.
Episode 8, yeah.
Yeah.
In that I'm like, okay, that's gonna, so I guess the beginning of 8, like you could tell, okay, that's gonna be his brother. Like
Yeah, so
I think you probably figured it out before he removed his mask.
I found that as a surprise, but I was so disappointed
Oh
because I'm like
really?
I didn't know, and then at the same time I did know because like I started making comparisons to Korra, where
Yeah, okay.
the main
Always
guy was
comes back to
Amon.
Avatar for us.
I was like, there's the one guy is the police guy turned out to be Tarlock, and the main
Mm-hmm.
guy was Amon,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of like the people wearing the mask equal as masks, like they're
Mm-hmm.
wearing something, and I was like, I see something similar. I mean, I kind of got that hint, and I made the joke that like the main guy is like a Sokka. I mean, I said
Oh
Zuko at
yeah,
first, but he's like a Sokka, and I kind of see
yeah.
it where he's like he wants to be selfish, but he also sees it like he sees the old man. He wants to help him. Like
He wants
I
to
can
help.
see the
Yeah,
Sokka like characteristics in there.
character
Like
coming out. Yeah, yeah.
um,
Actually, I take it back. I kind of started having an inkling on when I thought it was the brother. Is when you know how he's going through the files. What
mhm.
episode? I can't remember what episode that might be 8 too.
I think it's like
Going through the
7 and 8.
yeah. So when he's going through
Actually, maybe it could be 6 because in 7 he's like finds the VIPs, and then that's
yeah,
when the guy takes him to the side room.
yeah. And that he already knows at
Was
that point that his brother won a game. Do you remember that? Like he's going through the documents and his brother is one of the winners.
oh okay, I didn't catch that. I mean, it's not in
That's when,
English.
yeah, so that's
I
when I knew, okay, that's most
I don't know
likely.
if every like time, but I did like in Netflix, like when there was like a newspaper to read
Yeah,
and
they
it's
paused.
in Korean, it like kind of like put the text under it in English.
Yes, yeah. So yeah, that was cool. I like watching dramas on Netflix because they even though the translation is probably the worst I've seen, they do focus on especially things when it's written or a text message. They'll give you enough time to kind
Yeah,
of read through.
them doing the written stuff was very. I was like,
Yeah,
that's a step above most things.
yeah, yes, that's true. That is
Um, no, but yeah, that thing just sucked because it's like, all right, they confront, they know they're brothers, and then they're like, I had to do this, and it's like, what is he even talking about? Then he
yeah,
just shoots him, and I'm
yeah.
like, okay, so story end, what's
So
going on here?
So I thought he was gonna save his brother because do you remember when they're running around in the forest
Yeah, yeah.
and he almost kind of gives his brother a warning shot, like he shoots like the oxygen masks
Hmm.
and it's a loud sound, and
Yeah.
that's when his brother sees it that they're coming and he runs away. So I thought he was giving him a warning that hey, get out of here, like these people are after you.
Well, he
So
said, bring him in alive
yeah, and then he shoots
because
him.
he knew it was the brother. Right? I mean, the bad
Yeah,
guy knew it was
and
the
then
cop was his brother already.
I was holding out hope because he shoots him in the arm,
Hmm.
shoot him in the chest or somewhere where it could be a, like damage. So I'm like, oh, maybe he won't fall too far. Like, it'll be okay. He'll come back. This is a Korean drama after all. It's hard for people to die. So he might come back. I'll take it. And then nothing happens with it. I was so mad. So mad. I
Yeah,
was like,
that's such a
really
weak point.
dark.
Like
Yeah.
that's like a season 2 thing where I thought like, oh, maybe he jump and fall into the water superhero style, like he'll disappear, or a
Right.
helicopter will
Like the
come with the
Born
cops.
Identity, like, or Supremacy, whichever one where they shoot him and he falls in the water and swims away anyway.
Yeah, and then James Bond, like Skyfall, he falls off the train.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
believable. It's happened in other stuff, but it just they did nothing with it. I don't know if they write a season 2. Maybe the writer wrote it. So if someone wanted to write again after, they can
No,
kind of
I mean he shot like 2 times, 3 times.
Oh, did he shoot him more than once? I just
I
thought he
think
got
I
scared.
think he got shot more than once.
Okay, maybe he did. I
I mean, if they brought him back, I wouldn't be surprised. Like he
no, me
survived
neither.
that or something.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. It was on his like
then
shoulder almost.
yeah, then the disappointment on the other side of the game,
Okay,
and
two things I didn't like with the last episode. One is
okay,
the game itself.
eight
They
and
didn't
nine,
play the
eight and
game.
nine.
Yeah, eight
Well,
was
they started playing
minutes.
the last Squid game, which is
Yeah,
the name of the show.
yeah.
Then like he's hopping for a
Lasted
bit,
5 minutes. Yeah.
throws dirt in his face, and then he kind of just skips forward. And I was like, why
They
didn't he
just start
just run to the
fighting.
end? Why didn't he just
Yeah,
win?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you
It
tricked them already with
we
the
don't
dirt.
understand the game, but the game kind of looked like kabaddi to me. Like, have you heard of like that Indian game kabaddi?
No, actually
Okay, it's
sounds familiar, but I don't know what the game is.
there's things drawn on and you have to cross a line, but I didn't really understand the game 100%. I know in the beginning they kind of talked about it,
I
which
mean,
also
you don't need
can
to know if you're
use,
on
yeah,
if you're on offense, you can only hop
yeah,
on one foot up until a
one
certain
foot,
point, then you can
yeah,
make it to the end. And then the
yeah,
defense is just trying to block you like football, like they're trying
right,
to like keep people in. I mean, usually it's played with a team of people, not just 1v1, which
right,
is like kind of easier for the offense guy probably. Which like the main guy could obviously won. Then like they cut into like a little knife fight, and it's like what?
yeah. He's
And
like, oh,
then
I
they're
took this
like,
knife
you're
because
not
you
this
took
guy,
this
you're
knife.
not that guy,
Yeah,
you're not that guy.
yeah,
And then like he's like, we decide to quit both of us. And I'm like, that's the fucking worst thing ending. Then it's obviously that guy's gonna sacrifice himself for you. And he gets the money and he's depressed as fuck. And it's like, oh my God.
yeah. And he did, honestly, I thought there was going to be a redemption where he's going to give the money to all the people that
He
was,
owed it to
no, but like all the people in the game that was with him, right? I thought he
all the
was
people that died. Yeah, yeah, I was thinking that
right.
too.
Like Abdul, like he was closer to the girl. Like we didn't even talk about her. I mean, she's not super important, but there's a girl within their team that makes it with them.
I
Then
mean,
she,
he sets that up. That's at least set up. Like his the
oh yeah,
girl's
he does
brother,
eventually put
he
the
gives
brother
her
with
the
the
family of the his friend's mom,
best friend. Yeah, yeah, it's
which is
not the
weird.
best.
That was weird.
It was so
Okay.
weird. Yeah, yeah. Like you lost a
Um,
son here. Here's another one. She's literally gonna die in 3 years. Who's gonna take care of this kid? Like that lady was the last leg of her life. Like
yeah,
trust me, she ain't making it farther than like 3 years. But yeah,
no,
the ending was the weakest of the whole show. The build up is so good. The games for the most part are so much fun to watch. Some of the messed up things they do, it kind of like as much as you hate yourself, you're kind of excited that it went as dark as it did. Like at least I
hmm
did. No, you felt the same way, but I'm like, oh crap. Like I like the fact that they're not holding out on anything. So I
yeah.
guess
I
it
mean,
makes
I think
sense that one of the endings was not a happy ending. But then
mhm.
at the same time, I'm like, even if like the cop died, right? And it's his brother that killed him, that's fine. I just wish they did it better. It just
Yeah, I think the ending could have been like, even if the cop thing would ever happened,
mhm,
like maybe they should have left it as like we don't know what happens on that island. Then it
mhm.
gets to him and he wins. Okay, yeah, whatever the brother sacrifice.
Yeah.
I kind of
Yeah.
wish he fixed things with his daughter. Like I wish they showed that scene of like, all right,
Yeah.
I can pay child support. I can see
Yeah.
you. Don't move to America. I have enough money to fund
Right.
you
They
guys.
set that up in the beginning and then they
They
didn't
didn't
follow.
even bring back the kid.
No, you don't see her in the last episode. The
And
mom's
I
dead,
was,
which okay, fine. One messed up thing was bound to happen.
oh
We
yeah,
found,
like mother is dead. Like
yeah.
okay, another dark thing. I get it. It's a
Yeah.
dark. The whole
Yeah.
season's
The
dark.
kid moves to she moves to America because the last scene is him being like, oh, I'm gonna come see you. And he dyes his
Oh,
hair
okay, that's what it is.
in.
Yeah, yeah, the red hair was
And
weird.
why? Why?
I don't know if that symbolizes something.
Yeah,
Um,
maybe we don't know. Maybe we don't know. Maybe it's all the blood he shed.
well, it could be. I was like, I thought
Yeah.
maybe he's gonna be a pop star or something now.
Yeah. Well, he made more money than he did in killing all those people in the game.
Yeah, no,
Um,
and then he gets invited. Like someone tells him to buy a rose, and
yeah.
there's a card there, and it like
Mhm.
he's invited to like some skyrise building, and then you hear a voice talking, and you're like, what? Who is this? And you're like, oh, please don't do this. Please,
Yeah.
please don't.
As soon as they did it, I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. Because remember, I texted you. I'm like, why is his grandpa playing? Like, he has no reason to play. And that's when I was thinking. I think maybe there's something fishy going on. And
I thought there was something fishy with the guy, but then like they said he had a tumor in his brain. He's got nothing else to live
yeah,
for. I
yeah.
got that
So
was like a
same.
long.
They got me. I'm like, okay, he's fine. Whatever. It's fine. But it made sense for him to be the good guy. Because to me, I'm like, there's got to be one person in there that's part of like the. It's like, those paid audience members.
Yeah.
Lily Singh always had them in her late night show. She would have paid audience members to hype her up. So I always like, to me, when I started this, I'm like, there's 456 people. One of them has to be like a hype man in there that they paid.
Yeah.
So at first I thought it was the grandpa, right? Just like briefly, I thought it was him. But I didn't think anything of it because he was so kind. He was so nice. He was so wise. And I'm like, no, he is in the show to show like this main guy is a good guy. That's his purpose.
Yeah.
Right. That's it. After that, I didn't think about it again. Then in the end, I was so mad. I've never been so mad to be right. So mad. I was so mad. I was like, it made no sense. It made no sense that he's behind all of this.
And then it's like kind of hinted at that like that his son is the main guy. The main guy who's running the game. Is that what your impression was?
I didn't get
The guy in
that.
the black mask? No?
I didn't get that. No.
Why do you think he showed up at his death? Like, I mean, like, why did he show up
Like
to
it's
like
his
take care
like
of it?
assistant, or it's his like, so Korean culture also, that's the other thing, like your assistants will like not Korean culture, but Korean dramas will always have like these really like dedicated assistants to like the rich guy that is the main person.
Oh, okay.
I just thought he
I
was
was
doing
in my
his
head.
job.
I was under the impression that was his son.
I didn't get that. It could be, maybe I missed something, but I didn't get that.
No, I'm just kind of putting it there, like he was someone that was looking after him.
Yeah, I think it was just he probably now inherits the games, right? Because this guy's dying. So
Yeah, he's gonna take over the owl mask guy.
Let me make sure he really is dead.
Maybe.
Yeah. I also thought it was kind of stupid where he was like, oh, you see that homeless man outside?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I was like, what the heck? I'm like, that proves nothing. Go and die, man. I'm over you now. I'm over you.
I think that was like someone else has wrote that last episode, but no, the same guy that directed and wrote every episode.
He wrote everything. I think
same guy.
That's the problem with hyped up shows where it always falters. And I guess you can't impress everybody because I'm sure
you said it when we were on episode 3. You were like, I hope this doesn't disappoint. And I was on 5 at a time, and I was like, no, it's been
no,
getting
keep going,
better and
keep
better.
going. Yeah.
And then 8 happened, and I was like, oh fuck.
And to me, 7 happened. I don't care.
I like 7 with the glass panels.
I think that's one of the things that me and you, because for me, by 7, I had kind of like started seeing what's happening.
Yeah, no, I was still blind.
The main guy, not with the old guy, not with that. But by 7, I was like, okay, I know that Ajma is gonna take this guy down, and then I knew that they were gonna leave because I looked at the time for 8 and I saw it was only 30 minutes.
No, I didn't notice that. I was
like, they're not playing like, so this is the second to last game. So I knew that they were either going to only leave 2 people alive or I guess 3. So I knew there wasn't going to be that many people that were going to make it. Okay. So 7, it kind of got bored in 7.
Yeah. And then and so with the like, he sees someone else playing that game, the little like paper throwing one. And then he gets the phone number. He calls them. He's like, I'm gonna stop this. Yeah, I'm gonna stop this thing and whatever. And they're like, player 456, don't get any ideas. Yeah. And then he enters the game again, and it's like,
no, we don't know if he enters the game again. He just walks towards the guy. Maybe he's stopping him. I don't know.
Did he not enter the arena in the jacket last scene?
Oh, did he? Okay, I might have missed that because at that point I was. Let me actually check. Maybe you're right.
I could imagine.
No, you might be right. I just remember him going back. The last thing I saw is him, like, on the bridge where he's going to the airport.
Yeah, he's looking at the other guy, and he gets the car, and he's on the phone.
Yeah.
I could be
Yeah,
imagining it. I don't know.
he walks back with his red hair. I don't. There's got to be something with that red hair that we missed. I didn't understand.
No, I'm sure there's someone theorizing or knows the
Someone
real
that
answer.
has, yeah. Okay, I didn't see anything. Maybe he did, and maybe there's a like after credit scene.
No, the ending is the airport. I mean,
Yeah, the ending is the airport. So I mean, you could be right because that makes more sense. Maybe he's
maybe
gonna.
I'm imagining it. I don't know. I mean, it's like he's gonna try and finish what
Stop
that
this.
top guy
Yeah,
started.
but probably not because they know who he is. So they're not gonna let him back in anyway, right? They're not gonna let
It's
him play
possible. It's
because
possible.
they know who he is and they know what he's trying to do. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, there was this theory like some guys on the internet. There was like a
Yeah,
TikTok. They do like this. I don't know their name, but I see it come up in my feed always. Like they do a theory, and it's like, what if this thing is going on in Marvel? But like they did Squid Game, and they're like,
yeah.
when they play the that little flip the paper, and it's like if
Mhm.
you click the red one, you would end up on the red side. Like you would be the employees, and if you pick the blue, you'd be the players. And they're
Oh,
like, oh, what if this time he
interesting
turns out
one.
to be the
I like that one a lot.
But I was like, they're wearing green check. It's not blue. Fucking dumbasses. All the
Oh yeah, that's
comments were
true.
like, you're wearing blue green. They're
I
wearing
like the red part. I think the blue is where it falls
yeah, it
apart.
falls apart when it's like you think about the jacket, but it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
when you think when they're talking explaining it, they convince you.
I liked it. I was thinking red pill, blue pill when he showed it when he
Yeah,
first.
Matrix.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, is he gonna take the red pill or the blue pill? Right?
I mean that could have been the reference of the color too.
Yeah.
Maybe the red
I
hair
don't
is
know.
going he's on the red side now.
Yeah. As much as I gave hate to the last few episodes, I don't think I've had as much fun watching a show
No.
as much as this one in a very long time. I think you've listed a couple. This one's got to be on the top of that list. I recommend to watch to everybody. It's so much fun
Yeah,
to watch.
even with the bad ending, I would say it's
Even
worth
with that,
watching.
even with that, because if they do a season two, it's salvageable. I don't think season two will be good because of this
No,
kind of
no.
thing. But I think that's why they're not going to do a season two because they closed a lot of the main stuff off. Unless they kind of turn like 456 into kind of a detective and he's just trying to figure out and track down and kind of become a vigilante. But I don't think that's as interesting as these games.
No,
So
I mean they could just do another round of games, but how can that be interesting? I mean they could make anything work. Good
yeah,
writing.
it can't be the same people
No, it has to
unless
be a whole different set of cast. It has to be different.
56.
That's like an
Yeah,
anthology thing of like here's a whole other
yeah,
set of people doing this Squid
yeah,
Game.
yeah, and just more messed up stuff. But yeah, all in all, such a fun show to watch. Even with the crap ending, like honestly, it's fun even watching it go down the hill because I was like, my emotions were still so checked in
Yeah,
that I was literally screaming at my phone when I found out it was the old man.
yeah. That episode 6 is tough. That's like
Yeah, I literally I was so sad. But then they didn't show him get shot, and a part of me was like, okay, they didn't show it, but you know what? It's too sad. It's too sad to see this old man die because you're so attached to him. You don't see Abdul get shot. So I convinced myself, I'm like, he's fine.
you see Abdul get shot. He gets shot right in the forehead.
Yeah, but they kind of move away. You don't really
Oh, you
see.
don't see the blood on his face. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
you
see
don't
him on the
really
floor
see it.
dead.
Yeah, you do. Oh yeah, that was messed up. But the old man, I like that camera work too, though. When they were killing the old man, they kind of have like the wall, like it's timed so perfectly that
Hmm.
you can have the wall as soon as they're putting the gun to his head.
Yeah,
It just kind of shelters him, and then you hear like the shot like 2 seconds later as you're focusing on 456.
I did like that the last area was like, oh, I used to live around here, and like his, I don't know
Yeah,
if it was fake. I couldn't
I
tell
can't
like if he was
tell.
faking his
I
like
can't
dementia
tell.
thing or the tumor is like affecting his
I
brain, or
think
he's like
that he faked.
he faked it
And
a
you know
bit.
he faked because he knew that he was stealing marbles from him in that game. So you know he
Yeah,
faked
yeah.
that. Yeah, you know he faked
He was
that.
testing him to see if like he would be willing to like give his life for his.
Yeah, and he was happy that he did. Clearly, he
Yeah.
let him go. It kind of seemed like he wanted him to win.
Mhm.
Yeah. All in all, though, such a fun show to watch. Oh my god. And you can theorize and analyze and do all of this for days with it. We're tired.
And imagine this was week to week.
I could not last. I could not. I would drive myself crazy. I cannot watch TV like that anymore. And that's mainly Korean drama's fault. They a lot of the dramas they actually now like release them weekly on Netflix. Netflix does it weekly.
Oh, it's written. Oh wow. Okay.
I wait till they're all out and then watch it. Also, speaking of Korean dramas, there's just one other thing I wanted to add about like 456. Throughout the whole show, like, you know how his friend is like, you can't do, like, you were never able to kill anybody. You just let other people kill for you.
Mm-hmm.
Then you reap the benefits of it. And as I watched the show, even in the end where he chooses not to kill his friend and he just like, I give up. He wins not because of the choices he makes throughout the game, but because of the choices other people make throughout the games. And then mainly because his old guy is kind of like godfathering him into winning some of these games because he knows obviously what's happening. So like throughout all of that, I feel like he's kind of like a typical like Korean drama like protagonist, especially the female, because in these shows, like they're not making active decisions. It's just things happening to them and they kind of like react. So it was interesting that this male version kind of like overtook this traditional female role where you don't really do anything in a drama. You things are just supposed to happen to you as a female in a Korean lead. And that's kind of
I can see that.
what's happening. Like he made no decisions throughout the whole show if you think about it. Like he literally had no say in what was happening to him. Besides a few little details, like the main guy was killing people for him and he was kind of dictating what to do, and like when the tug of war happened, like he didn't follow through with what was being asked and he brings a girl in, right? So he didn't really make too many decisions in the show. I feel like it just he kind of goes with the flow and he just gets lucky.
He didn't have a lot of luck in this.
Yeah, which we know why, right? The old man was literally rooting for him to win.
Well, kind of, yeah.
In a lot of
until the end,
right? Yeah, until the end. So I don't know. It was interesting. I was kind of thinking that when I was watching it, I was like, do something, do one thing for me. But it was, and not saying that that's a bad thing. Like I don't think that. I just thought it was interesting that that's kind of the position they put him in the show. But it was also very interesting to kind of have him be a spectator in a lot of these things because it was fun to kind of see that he was going through the same thing an audience was going through. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. In certain times I was getting frustrated with it, but for the most part, I think it worked really well in the show.
I mean, I could see him as a follower for a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of the games, except for the carving one, where he finds
Yeah,
out first
he
that
actually,
he use like liquid, like your spit to like break this thing easier. But like especially that glass one, he has no idea. He was like, even one person in front of him, he can't remember the steps. And he's like, I need someone to tell me where to go.
Yeah, and he doesn't choose the last number, right? The other guy comes and begs him, and he gives up, and then he by luck chooses number 16.
And
right?
then he switched.
The decision. He has no choice but to pick the last number. He got lucky, sure, but he didn't make this choice. Yeah. But yeah, it was interesting, and I thought
there's still a bunch of characters we didn't talk about, but
there's so much going on, and that's why I think a lot of people should just watch it. I think we spoiled a lot, so hopefully people who haven't watched it,
kind of ruined it
this far. We've made it this far, but you should definitely check this show out. Even of the stuff we spoiled, there's a lot more things that we didn't talk about that you'll watch. It's just the whole concept is so fucked up beyond belief, but it's so interesting.
I mean, I can see them, like if another showrunner, writer, director wants to do this, they can come up with another 5 games.
They can.
But like with a different cast, I don't know if they would make it work with this guy again. Like,
no, he wouldn't come back. I don't think he would come back. He really barely does dramas anyway, this guy. So
I mean, this is the biggest show on Netflix. I'm sure Netflix will pay them whatever they want.
I'm sure. But I don't know. I don't know if I want a season 2, to be honest with you. I think I think the whole appeal of this game was there's a lot of shock value. But I also think the writer kind of forgot towards the last few episodes what he was trying to say or do. So
I mean,
that's
there was no like message at the end of like.
no, I mean just with the story, I think he did a lot of setup that he just forgot about. And I think that could be that maybe he like exhausted himself because he really said he didn't want to write season 2 or he had no plans to write a story as of now.
Yeah, I mean, I think if he wants to resolve some things, they can be like fixed in season 2. But
Yeah.
I'm fine with how it ended. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
fine
it
with
was
it,
good
but
enough.
it's like,
It is what it is.
yeah, it is what it is. But I think from the first 8 episodes, I'm like super excited about what I saw.
Oh yeah. It was good. I mean, the way it was filmed and writing is so well. Acting is amazing in this. The acting is crazy good. Like I think part of the appeal is these actors just know what the heck they're doing. Like, so good. Even the grandpa.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
No, I think that's it. I mean, I do wish like we got that first break of like he's in the city messing things up. He goes into the game, and then you got free time to like roam around. I was kind of
Yeah.
expecting him to have that somewhere in the middle again, one more time.
Like go outside of the game and
Yeah, they'd have a break before the final game or something.
yeah.
But
But I
like
guess
this,
they don't want to risk them telling somebody, right? So they're not
yeah,
gonna let them out.
yeah.
So
I mean, he did go to the cops, and they didn't believe him.
yeah, see? So, I don't know, maybe it was good for what it was trying to do, like which
That's
was
definitely unique. Like
a
I don't know,
thriller.
people
Yes.
loved Hunger Games when the movies were coming out or books were amazing or something. I never got the
Mm-hmm.
appeal of that show, but I get
Mm-hmm. You get
the
this
battle royale kind of thing
battle
of like
royale.
one versus 100 or one versus 456. It's like
Yeah.
one can survive, and
Mm-hmm.
I get the appeal of why people love it.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a journey for sure. Would you rewatch this ever if you're bored?
Not recent, like not right away. Like
Not right
this
away.
is like a
Like you were
Watchmen.
like 3 years down the line if you're
Yeah,
bored.
100%. I'd watch this.
Yeah,
This is
me
like
too. Me
Watchmen.
too. Yeah. I would rewatch this 100%. I think, like I said, even though maybe we'll like the ending the second time around. Who
Or
knows?
maybe we've been liking
We'll catch things and be
fun
like,
stuff
oh, that's why
the
he did
second
this.
time.
Oh, that's why he did. Yeah. So try not to read any articles so we can watch it like down the line. Maybe we'll re-review it if we're still
Maybe
touring
it's a time loop. The ending is the beginning of his thing.
of his
Starts
journey.
again. Yeah, gets the card.
Could be. It's an interesting theory.
No, I doubt it. I mean, it would be a loop of he does this game again. He has to survive, and he's risking
Yeah.
it all again.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No, I think that's it. I think I don't have much else to say about this now.
No, same here. I think this everyone go watch it either way. Even if we spoiled things for you, it's so much fun to watch.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect that's the best thing about the show. I wasn't anticipating it, and it was something like out of nowhere it came out. It was great.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Yep, that guy. Lee Byung Hyung. Oh God, I'm so sorry. I'm butchering that so badly.
Yeah, he was in GI Joe 2009
G.I.
and
Joe.
2013.
Yeah. Is that the Chad Michael? Chad. Oh, he's in the Terminator too. Holy crap.
Yes, yeah, he's broken into the American movies.
Yeah,
Maybe he'll
yeah.
be the bad guy. Shang-Chi too.
He's a good actor. I like him. I've seen him in a couple of dramas. He was in this really big drama called Iris. It came out like in the early 2000s. I don't know if it's listed here. Maybe not even listed here.
I'm sure. I mean, he has a lot of stuff under his Wikipedia. He has like
Oh yeah,
a
yeah,
ton of different like film, movie, TVs, audio
yeah. He's
awards. Oh, he's got a separate page for
Whole page of
started in 1995. So
yeah. He's I think in
wait, Saturday Night Live Korea.
Korea. Holy heck. I did not know that was a thing.
Okay, no, I mean we're not going to spend a whole day looking at everybody's Wikipedia.
No, we can't. We can't figure out what everyone else has done. They're all veteran Korean actors. I've recognized almost everybody in the show, so they've all done a lot of stuff.
Yeah, no, I think definitely watch this show. I can see why it's number one. It's going to continue to be number one for a while.
It deserves it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Great show.
And then I can't wait for if there is anything else, I will be excited to hear. If not, I will watch it again in 2 years.
There you go.
All right, that's been another episode of Raving and Reviewing.
Talk to you
See you
guys
guys next time.